Well, we've arrived at day 15 of the Seeing Jesus Challenge, and it marks the beginning of the last week. This is Holy Week when we focus on Jesus coming to Jerusalem and his experience in the upper room with the disciples, and his prayer in Gethsemane, and then his arrest and his trial, and ultimately his crucifixion. And we look forward to Easter Sunday when we celebrate the resurrection. But today we read about the Greeks, which were probably men that came from other countries just to Jerusalem so that they could experience Passover. They may not have had any inclination to the Jewish faith. They may not have been converts. They may have just been curious. But they had heard about Jesus, and so they wanted to meet Jesus. And so they came to Philip. And they came to Philip because Philip is a Greek name. And they assumed, I think, well, this guy's got a Greek name. He'll have some sympathetic ear for us. He'll help us get to Jesus. The problem was they didn't know Peter. We've already seen Peter before. Peter was a planner. Peter was a thinker, and he had to think things out in his mind. You remember when Jesus wanted to feed the multitude, and there was only that lunch. It was Philip who had figured out how much food it was going to take to feed the number of people that were there, and how much money it would cost. And of course he didn't believe it was possible because he left Jesus out of the equation. So they asked Philip, but Philip is one of these people that needs a system. He needs a manual. He needs policies and procedures, and he needs to know the right way to go about doing things. And so he didn't have that because this has never happened before. The Greeks have never approached and said, we want to talk to Jesus. And so Philip didn't know what to do without having the policy manual in place. And so he does the only thing he knows to do. He takes him to Andrew. And of course, Andrew has no problem with introducing people to Jesus. He's been doing it from day one. He introduced Peter and James and John, and he brought the boy with the lunch to Jesus. And so Andrew knows exactly what to do. He brings the Greeks to Jesus, and the conversation begins. Here's the point I want to make when we think about Philip and Andrew, and frankly all the other disciples, and it's this: the kingdom needs all kinds of people. We don't need everybody to be Peter and be bold and outspoken and be great speakers. We don't ever need everybody to be Philip, to be organizational and have to have policies and procedures. Although the kingdom needs those people, we need all kinds. And so here's the thing: God made you unique. And in your uniqueness, God has things for you to do that nobody else can do. He made you to be special. You're the only combination of all the things that you are. Nobody else can be that. Nobody else can be the combination of your personality and your experiences and your circumstances and your environment. All those things are unique to you when you put them all together. And so God wants to use you, and he wants to use me in unique ways. And we need to recognize that regardless of our talents and our abilities and our skills, God thinks all of us are important. And all of us have a role to play in his kingdom and in his work, regardless of who you are. So remember that today. You're somebody that God wants you to use. Now make yourself available and have a great day.